Welcome to Section 6, Authentication. In this section, you will learn how to create the login form to handle the authentication request. I'll teach you how to authenticate user with signed cookies. You will learn how to fetch the user profile if user has logged in successfully. You will also learn how to handle the errors if user does not provide valid credentials. I'm going to teach you how to display the auth links on the nav bar. Let's talk about how to create the login form to handle the post request. I'm going to teach you how to create the Express project with Next.js, and you will learn how to create the login form to handle the authenticated request. I'll also teach you how to create the login API endpoint on the server side. I have already attached the source code. You have to open it and run the npm install. I'm using these packages Express, Next, React, React DOM, and Axios. I'm using the Nodeman for hot reloading. I've already taught you how to set up the Next.js project with Express.js. Let's start from the server.js file. I've imported Next and the Express package. Here I'm telling to Next.js. If I'm using the development mode, then you have to set the node environment to development. This means I'm not using in production level. I've set the port. Here I created the application from the next class. Basically it's a function and I've provided the options here. You can provide options for the server, for the development. I'm using on the development mode. Here I'm getting the request handler. Whenever I send the request from the browser, this handle will handle the request. I created the server here. app.prepare is used to prepare the Next.js application. It will return the promise, so I have resolved the promise by using the .then. I'm using this middleware to handle the post request. It is going to parse the URL parameters like request body. Let's say I would like to send the email and the password. This middleware will parse the request body. I created the API endpoint for the login. This API endpoint on the server side. So you can pass email and the password. So I'm getting the request body from the request.body. I'm just returning the email, password, and the success. Here you can write some check here. Let's say you are implementing the database. Maybe you have a MongoDB. You can check that here. Whenever you send any request from the browser, this method will catch. Basically, this will handle the request. It's a request handler on the Next.js project. If everything is okay, then we will start our server. So let me run the project first. Basically, I would like to show this API endpoint first. The application is running. So I'm going to send request to the localhost :3000. And you will see that this page could not be found because I did not add the root route. Whenever you send the request to the invalid URL, you will see the same page. If I will comment this code, and what you will see, it has restarted the application. And I restart the application. Let me show you. And you can see this error, cannot get the root route. So that's why I use this route. So let's try to test the login route. I have created this route on the server side. Here you will see that. So you can provide email and the password. So you can use the Postman. I'm using this Postman application. You can download this Postman application. You have to send the post request to this route. And you can select the body from the raw. You can select the JSON. I've provided this. You can provide any email and the password. I'm going to send the request. And you will see this email and the password, and success means true. It means you have logged in. You can change anything here. You will get the exact email, password, and the success. It means API login route is working on the server side. So now I'm going to talk about what is happening here. So we have created the login page. When you go to the login page, you will see the login form. I have created the email and the password field and the submit button inside the login form. Let's review the login form. It is a class-based component. I've added email and the password in the state. This method will handle the state. Let's say whatever I will write here, it will try to change the state. Here we have the login form. I'm using the React Chrome extension. If you don't have React Chrome extension, you can install that. Whatever I'm going to change here, you can see the state has changed. You can see the password has changed. So handle submit. I've provided the handle submit here on the on submit. When user will submit the form, this handle submit method will be called. I'm using the handle change here on the on change on the input. Whenever you submit the form, it is going to extract the email and the password from the state. And I'm calling the login user. Where did I define the login user? I have defined the login user inside the auth.js. So I have created the auth.js inside the lib folder. I'm going to open it here, auth.js. And you will see the login user method. I created the async wait here. Basically, it's an asynchronous method. It will accept the email and the password. And this method is sending the request to the server, to the API login endpoint. I'm using the Axios to send the request. So axios.post. So you are using the post request. So you have to provide the email and the password. And you can log the data here. It will return the data. And you can return the data. Basically, I'm trying to log the data here. Let me show you what will happen if you will send the request. Basically, if you will submit the request, cool, you can see the email and the password. Basically, it has logged this data. When you submit the form, this handle submit method will call this login user, and inside the login user, you are sending the request to the API login endpoint. And what is happening inside the API login endpoint? You can open that from the server.js file. Here, I'm just returning this email, password, and the success. You can see the email, password, and the success. And here you got the exact data.